Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I'm excited to say that Rainbow Six Siege has just received a small patch update. One of the things that I was really glad to see that they resolved is that apparently they fixed the white van exploit. If you're not aware, before this update, you could place down a deployable shield next to the white van and then literally vault on into it. Once inside, you could see the enemy, no problem, you could see them through the van, but they couldn't see you or shoot at you. You could then peek your gun out essentially, take shots at them, and then quickly take them out. It was a really bad exploit. If you were on defense and the objective was in the garage itself, especially on Consulate, there was no way the offensive team was going to be able to take you out. Like, it was clearly an exploit, and it was absolutely game-breaking. Before I move on to the other things, though, I wanted to say really quickly that a lot of you messaged me about this exploit and requested that I made a video about it. And while I'm glad that you guys are making me aware of these things, I always like to be knowledgeable on what's happening with Rainbow Six Siege, I'm not really inclined to talk about big exploits in the game because I don't really want to use my YouTube as a platform to let everyone know about these big exploits. And while somebody might argue, oh, this would be a great way to get Ubisoft to solve these problems even faster. If every major YouTuber is talking about these issues and even demonstrating how to perform these exploits, then that's going to really require Ubisoft to go on in and resolve these issues. And while that might be true, I wouldn't want it to get to the point where everyone knows about it, and then on those maps it just turns into a nightmare because a couple of people take advantage of it and ruin the experience for everyone else. And so while I'm happy that you guys are letting me know about these exploits, hopefully you can understand why I never really talk about it, and especially why I don't go into the specific details on how you perform them on my channel. Another thing I know a lot of people are going to be excited about, especially shield users, is that you can now place charms on your shields. This was highly requested. Everyone was kind of confused why the primary weapons like assault rifles and the SMGs, you could have your charms on that, but if you were a shield user, you never gotta have that cool little charm. And while I know some people may not care at all about this, this was highly requested, and so it's really cool that they added that feature on in. Speaking of shields, they've also made some changes to the way that Blackbeard works. Sadly, they haven't nerfed him. I know that some people might disagree with me on this one, but I'm really hoping that he gets a little bit of a nerf bat in the future. But what they have done is that when you are playing as this guy, you won't automatically reload when you're out of ammunition. This is the way that all of the shields work right now in Rainbow Six Siege, but that wasn't the case before the patch when you're playing as Blackbeard. And so you'd have situations where you're peering through a window, you were taking advantage of what this class is all about, and then you would go through all of your ammunition and then automatically go through the reload animation. This, of course, would leave you exposed, giving the enemy plenty of opportunity to get a lucky headshot on you, and then, of course, you'd be back at the spawn screen. And so what they've done is that now, if you want to reload when you're playing as Blackbeard, you do have to manually click the reload button every single time. Another thing I found to be interesting is that apparently they've made bullet tracer rounds more accurate. Now, I didn't even realize that this was an issue, but I guess before this patch, if you were spectating your friend and you were looking for where the enemy was coming from, if you saw the tracer rounds fly through the air, it may not have been a true representation of where the enemy was shooting from. So apparently what they've done now is that they've tightened it up. I don't know exactly how, they kind of explain it, but it goes way over my head. I don't know the technicalities, but now when you're playing in the game and you do see those tracer rounds, it is going to be a better representation of exactly where they're shooting from, so hopefully you can round the corner and secure that nice headshot using that information to your advantage. And then a final little adjustment I wanted to mention really quickly is that now when you are hiding behind a deployable shield or other objects, your character is now going to be less likely to show their legs or show your body part through that object. This has been a kind of a problem with Rainbow Six Siege ever since the release. Objects on the ground you would clip through that would allow the enemy to shoot at your feet, for example, and it looks like they are taking the necessary steps to resolve this problem. I don't think it's ever going to be completely fixed. I don't think that's going to be the case, but at least they are trying to take those necessary steps to ensure that at least it doesn't happen as frequently. But other than that, this patch was mainly just bug fixes across the board, and so if you'd like to check them out, I will leave a link down below. But sadly, we haven't gotten an update on the anti-cheat, which apparently is going to be improving in the future. At least that's what they're claiming, and there wasn't any major balance updates as well. I was really crossing my fingers that Buck's shotgun was going to see a return to form and get a buff once again. They nerfed it in the last patch, which inadvertently, I think, accidentally made it less destructible when you were trying to open up holes and things like that. And so I was crossing my fingers that that was going to be the case, but sadly it wasn't. The anti-cheat really is the biggest thing that we need, though, at least on PC. I know this probably isn't a big deal on console, but right now, I'm not even kidding, every other game, people are accusing others of hacking. And while I know that that's not true, I know that not everyone is hacking in Rainbow Six Siege, it's gotten to the point where everyone thinks others are hacking, and that is a serious problem. And so hopefully Ubisoft is doing everything they can to bring in a new anti-cheat, or at least improve the one that they have right now, because it really is one of the biggest issues plaguing the game. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's little update. I hope you enjoyed. I know this patch wasn't big, but I know that a lot of you guys are going to be excited about at least a couple of changes that they've made, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. But yeah, until tomorrow, have a good one, and take it easy.